guys? This is Flip from Fight Life Media. I'm here in Pueblo, Colorado with Gabe Charboneau, the head coach at Pacific Warrior Roughhouse MMA in Pueblo. Gabe, give us a little bit of insight into the MMA scene out here in Pueblo and just Colorado in general.
Well, a lot of people, as most people know, the sport, literally had some of its humble beginnings right here in Colorado. UFC began here, and way back when, I believe it was Sursa 1994. And I've been around literally since then. I was one of the first guys in this part of the entire state to be able to participate in the sport at that time. And a lot of people got their start in a tournament that was called the Lone Wolf Tournament, which was held in Littleton, Colorado, at a place called Championship Martial Arts and Gymnastics. And guys like Nate Marquardt, Ron Waterman, Dwayne Ludwig, a lot of those guys that later on went on to still be in UFC in a lot of those cases. I'm real blessed to see the sport come to where it is now from where it began back then. At the time, it was just a tournament that we had heard about down here that was taking place in Denver that would allow guys to kind of pit their styles against different styles. And so to be able to say that you were competing in UFC at the time was not nearly as prestigious as it's become now. Who would have thought? And we've seen a lot of trials and tribulations along the way. The Boxing Commission, State Athletic Commission, came in 2005 and started regulating things to make them safer, make them more regulated. And ever since then, it's really become a place to say that I'm proud to be part of this sport. We have promotions like Ring of Fire, which is just literally it's world renowned. Sven being he's been around as long as I can remember. You got other big shows in Denver, like Fight to Win, of course the UFC, and when it rolls on through, we've had WEC, we've had Strikeforce. Pretty much we've seen the creme de la creme out here in Southern Colorado. Steel City Rumble is the show to be in, and we are the biggest show in the entire state of Colorado in terms of people. Our last show had almost 4,000 people. And August 24th, we were inducted to be the first MMA event to ever be featured as part of the Colorado State Fair lineup, the entertainment lineup itself. So we're expecting between 5,000 to 6,000 people for that show, and it's a good opportunity for me and a good opportunity for a lot of the young folks that I work with on a daily basis. We have a gym here in Pueblo. We also have a gym in Colorado Springs, and to be able to see their hard work pay off and be able to step up to some of the bigger stages is definitely, it makes me feel real good to know that their work is paying off.
Okay. Now, I've known you for quite some time, and I know that you do a lot of work within the community of Pueblo and Colorado Springs. Maybe you can give everybody out there a little bit of an idea of how you integrate mixed martial arts so that the community is more accepting of the sport.
When we first started thinking about how to do that early on, it used to be that if you were going to have fights here in Pueblo, that this is a blue-collar steel town, and people used to say that you're going to have more fights in the crowd than in the cage, and to a large degree that was true. But when we did an analysis of why that happened, it's because we realized at some point that it stems from when you're having local guys fight local guys, and what it creates is an air of negativity, And so what we started doing is we said, you know what, instead of putting these kids against each other, and then by the end of the night it's their fans and their friends and all of their supporters in the crowd that give them a little bit of beer, everybody has liquid courage, and now they're fighting. It's definitely not good for the sport. So we thought, why don't we develop this concept where we take these young folks in the community, we unify them as a team, and we bring in teams from other places to fight them. So to my understanding, we were one of the very first team-based events in the entire Southwest, and it's worked real well ever since then. We pride ourselves. We've always done the little leading up to a Steel City Rumble. We would have the gyms spar. We'd have different nights where we'd go to the different gyms, and we would all take turns sparring. A lot of these young folks that get involved with this sport, they may never have an opportunity to be part of something that unifies them as a team, or maybe they were when they were young, and through whatever reason, either they're done wrestling, college is over and they don't know what to do, or they just don't have the funds to participate in any team-based sport. this gives them an opportunity to feel like they're part of something, and to be able to even participate in the team leading up to a Steel City Rumble. They have to have a certain amount of community service hours. One, it allows them to experience how good it feels to do for others. A lot of them don't know, because some of them may not have fathers at home. Some of them just were not raised in that type of environment. They were raised with that big machismo sort of attitude, and they don't know how good it feels to do for others and to be looked up to in the community. We have a new organization called Bully Management that works to counter the effects of bullying in schools, and we utilize our fighters as a conduit to deliver a positive message to these young people in the schools, because it's a lot easier for guys that fight for a living and have tattoos and mohawks and hair and that look like them to deliver a message than, you know, an older person in a suit and tie. You know, there's that normal wall that exists there. So it's been real effective, and the support that we've developed is overwhelming. And what it does is it gets the community behind these fighters in a way that they've never had before. All of a sudden, you know, it used to be that if you go watch the fights on a weekend, you really didn't care who was fighting. You were just going to watch fights. It was like an entertainment, like a circus event, or like a concert or something you go see. We're going to the fights. But now when our guys compete, we do public service campaigns leading up to the events, and now no longer are you going to the fights. You're going to watch the guys that went to my son's school and talked to them about bullying. You're going to watch the guys that you read about in the paper that are serving food in the missions during the holidays, or that have raised money for cancer. And so it's been kind of a good way, and everybody, you know, it's one of those everybody wins. You know, it's definitely good for the athletes. It's good for the kids that they're doing the community service for. It's good for the people in the community that they're helping. And overall, it's good for the sport. So I'm real proud to see that happen.
Okay. Now, as far as coaching goes, you have a lot of pros that come in, veterans of the sport. Maybe you want to give us a little bit about, you know, your coaching and how you kind of fell in with some of these bigger name guys.
You know what? I feel real blessed. I think it's just been opportunities over the years as I've paid my dues. I've been coaching MMA now for 16 years. And, my dad always said the empty can rattles the most. You can't ever say you're good at anything, but if you're good, other people will say it for you. So, you know, through that, I've associated myself with the right elite people, and you are who you surround yourself with. You know, I work with Keith Wilson, who is literally one of the top grappling coaches in the entire country. His 2010-2011 USA Wrestling Coach of the Year. In fact, single-handedly, our gym put 3 women on the U.S. Olympic team for this next year. Clarissa Chun and a few others. And, I work with Donnie Lyles, who's a Strikeforce veteran, IFL veteran. He's getting ready to take on Joey Villasenor here June 2nd at the Jackson's MMA series. Tori Adams, who's one of the hottest female prospects in the entire country. We've worked with guys like John Dodson, Rand Weathers, and we have always worked real well with the guys down in New Mexico from Mean One MMA, Jackson's MMA, and I've had the opportunity to work with guys like Coach Lindland, Matt Lindland, and it's just surrounding yourself with the right people, putting yourself in the right position to where your hard work can be seen, and your hard work is best seen either through what you do or through the people that you teach. When my guys succeed, that helps me succeed. And, it really, I don't think it ever grew as big as it did until this last year. And I mean, it seemed to blow up. We had one of the top teams in the entire state 2 years in a row. And we had Angie Hayes fight. She's our 125-pound female pro that I work with. She became the first woman in the country of Amman, Jordan, ever to be able to compete in a combat sport. We went out there, and that was in September of this last year. One of our amateur fighters won an international title in Beijing, China, in December. And a lot of travel. It's a lot of hours on the road. It's a lot of training, even when you don't feel like training, and when everybody's depending upon me. I really don't. I can't afford to complain. So, it's if I don't make myself available for these athletes, then unfortunately nothing happens. I got guys who have literally moved out here to come and train with us, and I'm real blessed. We have Jeff Santos and Pride Robinson, who is a 2-time Rage in the Cage champion out of Arizona, trained with Efren Escudero and all those guys out there. He's out here living, training, and fighting now, as well as Jeff Santos. And it continues to grow. It's a positive network of positive people. I really try to steer away from the political stuff. I have Ryan Axtell, who's one of the top 135-pound pros in the state of Colorado, former King of the Cage guy. And it just continues to grow from there. I'm just as long as you approach every situation with the best of intentions, positive things will come your way, and we're starting to see that now.
All right. So there you guys have it. There's great things coming out of Pueblo, Colorado. We're down here again at Pacific Warrior Roughhouse MMA in Pueblo. 2 locations, one in Pueblo, one in Colorado Springs. Make sure you guys check them out whenever you're in town. Steel City Rumble. Awesome promotion. I mean, I've had guys that were fighting in there, years ago, but it always gets better every single show. So anytime you guys are in this area, be sure you stop by, say hi to Gabe, and just kind of pop your head in. For more coverage, make sure you go to www.fightlifemedia.com, where we're covering MMA from the ground up.